People of Reddit. What is a NSFW fact you found way too late? My wife told me with her first partner, not me, she was shocked it was not more. She had been told that when a guy came, he ejaculated a quart of semen. That a blow job did not involve blowing. I was nervous for her to do it and was, well, very delightfully surprised. Didn't sound all that pleasant when I thought she was going to blow into it like a damn balloon. Never been happier to be wrong. That certain emojis have ... very different meanings in certain contexts. That being circumcised didn't mean the head of your dick gets chopped off. I old when I found that out. I let my ex control my wanger while I peed once. She squeezed it. I had to teach her that you don't squeeze the penis to make the pee come out. We aren't cows. She was 32 at the time. How to put on a condom, and that it's possible to put it on inside out. And that if you do put it on inside out, your penis can blast through the end, leaving you in a prophylactic turtleneck. And that when this happens, your lovely first sexual encounter turns quickly into a pregnancy scare. And that after this you might end up standing outside of Planned Parenthood being forced to talk to her mom. I was dating a girl who thought that guys had an extra hole between the ball sack and asshole for sex in case they ever decided to be gay. Didn't believe me till when I told her how wrong she was. 1. It's lower than you think. That men, when having wet dreams, actually release semen in their sleep. You are allowed to discuss salary with your coworkers. I'm 39. I didn't realize the Blink-182 album Take Off Your Pants and Jacket was actually Take Off Your Pants and Jacket till I was like 25. 15. I asked my stepmom, who loved to cook big, if she could make some pumpkin pasties, but her and my dad started howling with laughter at me thinking I was asking for Halloween-themed nipple covers. I was thinking of some kind of treat I had read about in Harry Potter and tried to prove it, but this was back before smartphones were available and my copies of Harry Potter were at my mom's. They didn't let me live it down for fucking ever even though I was right. It was an actual food item that gets mentioned in Harry Potter. You're not supposed to stand on the forks of a forklift. That there are singles in my area who are looking to have sex with me. That the human penis contains no bones. If you're a man that wants some more endurance, keep your leg muscles relaxed during sex. Take deep breaths, moan, etc. to relax your legs and glutes. That's something I wish I learned way earlier in life. My parents would often listen to soundtracks for long drives. We'd often hear Cats, The Phantom of the Opera, and Conan the Barbarian on cassette. One of the tracks on the Conan soundtrack is entitled The Orgy when Conan and the gang kidnapped the princess. As I was pre-adolescent and naive, I asked my mom, "What's an orgy?" After a beat, my mom replied, "A party, . I mean, she wasn't wrong. The one I went to definitely qualified as such. That pressing down on the girl's lower abdomen while going down on her and fingering the G-spot makes a huge difference. Younger me would have really appreciated knowing that. A vasectomy doesn't change anything about your pleasure or how much you come. It just removes a level of anxiety in your sex life. Creepy God mode. Was traveling from Ontario, Canada to the Florida Keys. My girlfriend's parents set up a bed with DVD player and snacks in the back trunk area of their Escalade. We were teens, Escalades are long, and the parents were listening to music loudly. So naturally, the girl and I started messing around. It got way out of hand and we were essentially naked, 6 feet from her parents on some U.S. interstate. The windows were blacked out so nobody could see in ... from the side at least. The back windshield was of course not tinted and we just never noticed cared. I came into an empty chip bag and thought nothing of any of what we just did. We later realized that everyone driving a vehicle taller than us for that 45 minute stretch of interstate could literally see underage kids' fucking feet from unsuspecting parents. Pain in the penis and difficulties to have and maintain an erection can be an early sign of Peyronie's disease. That later manifests with more pain and deformations of the penis. Spent so much months thinking it was aching because of too much jerking off and thinking that I couldn't get a boner because of stress. until I read about it on a Reddit post and then saw the first bend. That HR is not on your side. Not safe for work, right? That's sure sex fucking sex. I thought that if you were not in a relationship with or married to a girl that you couldn't have sex, so I missed out several obvious opportunities to hook up in college. I learned that it didn't matter when I was 20. That Netflix and chill does not mean a movie and some snacks with the homies. What masturbation and ejaculation is at the age of 15. I worked with this naive Kenyan kid once and this pretty girl started working with us. The pretty girl happened to be a lesbian. I don't remember exactly what happened, but someone mentioned to him that that girl liked to lick the carpet. The kid asked what it meant and I told him to as Debbie, who was a middle-aged woman. Debbie started telling him when girls get to puberty. Then I walked away to do something and when I came back I saw the kid with a surprised face saying they do that. I've already posted another story here, but non-fundamentalist education on sexual orientation would have been great. I was a pretty feminine kid, raised in a fundamentalist home. When I was 11 or 12, my mom told me that if she ever became convinced that I was gay, she would lock me in my room and beat and starve me until I stopped. My eternal soul was, she said, way more important than my comfort. And who was intentionally forgotten by the family because of this? No queer role models, and a thoroughgoing lack of education. I repressed who I was and lived in the closet until I was in my late 30s. I'm happily married to an amazing woman who I've been with since I was 14. But if I were to describe my sexuality, it would probably be gay except for her. I lived so long so deep in the closet, filled with fear and self-loathing, that I choked the life out of a core part of my identity. I'm thrilled with the broad parameters of how my life has gone, but I very much wish I could have grown up a whole person, not full of hatred but understanding. Uroplasma, an STI that isn't too dangerous and isn't categorized well, but found out one day I had it even though she was clean and tested. A month of intense nervousness was not fun. Modern medicine is a marvel. A woman squirting and orgasming are independent phenomena. They can happen at the same time, but they are two different physiological responses. Not to touch the head of a guy's dick right after he's orgasmed. Sorry, I get it. Some people are into that, but this particular fellow wasn't. I like being bitten, smacked, having my hair pulled, but some women will flip their shit on you if you just do it out of nowhere. I did not fully understand what a circumcision was until I was probably 20. I was born with a penis and I knew it was some kind of skin removal, but not really which part, and if you had asked me if I was circumcised, I would have genuinely said I don't know. I was in high school when I figured out the move 69 was called 69. I was well aware of what it consisted of, just didn't know the name. A friend in our group before school mentioned it and I was like, WTF is that? Made fun of hard for it even though I actually did know what it was. Just wasn't aware of the name, LOL. I thought getting head involved actual headbutting. I was so confused until I found out what it really meant. Always look for red flags before anything NSFW takes. Ask how I learned that one. I had no idea there were uncircumcised penises until double digits. As a kid, I thought shit was stored in your bum cheeks before it came out. So people with big asses were full of shit and constipated. Don't stick your dick in crazy. That women can orgasm in their sleep. I found out because it started happening to me. I Googled it. I had heard of wet dreams, but no one had talked about that type of thing happening to women. My wife thought that penises would be slimy. I used to work with a guy who didn't know sex caused pregnancy until after his second kid. Thanks for watching.